Hi everyone, welcome to Farsight's monthly series, Galactic Mysteries. This series focuses on extraterrestrial matters both far and near in the galaxy. I'm Yemi Janae from Farsight. Today we are focusing on the reality of Harvey. Now let me explain. For a very long time, going back many years, Farsight has been directly helped by a group of ETs, the ones we call the good ETs. Now this often involved numerous individuals. We always tried to keep this secret until the beginning of 2023, in part because of the credibility factor, but also because we didn't want our interactions to be interfered with. We knew that this would have changed one day and we would have had to tell everyone exactly what we've been doing and exactly how extraterrestrials have been helping us. The time when we decided that the secrecy had to end was in January of 2023, 1 year ago from the recording of this video. And we have been talking publicly and regularly about this since then. Now, the aim of our extraterrestrial helpers has always been the same: to free this planet and all of the humanity from the prison system that has been set up here by those who we call the bad ETs. Most of the help we received was in the form of information, including guidance regarding how we should present ourselves to the public, how to avoid or get out of the traps designed to entangle us, and even help with new remote viewing procedures. There was also some indirect financial assistance or guidance. To be blunt, we never could have built the Farsight that you see today all by ourselves. I think we're talented and perhaps even smart, but honestly, we're not that capable. Part of the United States Intelligence Service, were fully aware of the ET contacts that we have long maintained and the content of those interactions. Thankfully, the decision was made to let us continue to exist, which is why I'm able to speak to you guys today. Part of Farsight's journey was to rediscover all by ourselves the true history of humanity, going back to the age of the dinosaurs, but mostly focused on the last few thousand years. We were not given a book of that history. We had to perceive it directly with our own perceptual capabilities. Everyone at Farsight is a human born on this earth. We are all just like you. We had to prove to everyone that this is possible for normal humans to reclaim their own history and their own perceptual powers. We had to demonstrate to everyone that you are all more than what you think. But eventually we needed even more direct assistance. With all of our past projects under our belt, so to speak, we still needed to stitch all of this information together into a true narrative that made actual sense. In a way, we had all of the materials needed to construct a building, but we lacked the final blueprint showing us what it is supposed to look like. For this, we needed to have a sit-down conversation with members of our groups of good ETs, conversations where we could ask questions and patch up the gaps in our understanding. But there's a huge problem. It was prohibited for the extraterrestrials to appear physically on Earth because the bad ETs have written agreements with the United States government and some other Earth governments to keep the existence of the extraterrestrials completely secret. The governments were duped into signing those agreements by clever manipulations by the bad ETs. Nonetheless, agreements are agreements, and there's nothing we can really do about that. Direct violations of those agreements could provoke a military response, and we could not risk that. So we had to compromise. The meetings that we needed to have with the good ETs had to be such that the extraterrestrials at those meetings were invisible. I know, that kind of sucks. I want to see them up front too. Guys, I am telling you the truth. At Farsight, we have practiced seeing these ETs that seemed invisible to everyone else. We've done this in group meetings, sometimes at the beach at a retreat, and it was very, very challenging, might I add, kind of scary and cool at the same time. And quite a few of us were a little unrevved by it all, but most of us eventually were able to see them using the same senses that we use when we remote view. Eventually, the so-called invisible ETs became very, very visible to us all. We could see them in real time, their clothing, their body positions, their gender, basically everything. We learned over the years to be able to hear their thoughts in our minds and to clearly perceive who we were talking with, if you allow me to call it talking for the moment. So finally, our director, Courtney Brown, wanted to video record these meetings. So something was set up so that he would be able to go to the beach in the middle of the night in a secret location and talk with those guys. That resulted in a new series at FarsightPrime.com called Conversations with Harvey. It was named that with a nod of the head to a play and movie called Harvey, written by Mary Chase and starring Jimmy Stewart, where Jimmy Stewart would interact with a huge invisible rabbit named Harvey. In the beginning, only Jimmy Stewart could see Harvey, but eventually others started to see him too. Well, our Harvey is a male extraterrestrial who has been meeting with our director for quite some time. I am sure that is not his real name. I'm actually 100% positive that is not his real name, but it is simple for us to pronounce. And after all, just like the play, he is invisible. So when those conversations are video recorded, it looks like our director is a little loopy professor talking to an invisible friend. And that is what was required to avoid the military response to those meetings. You see, Harvey never comes alone. There are ships and lots of security people. So if everything was fully visible, well, I think you can see how that would obviously not have worked. There were also other ETs who interacted with our director at these meetings, including a woman who seems to be an authority figure of some type. Maybe she's the one in charge. But again, as far as the rest of the public is concerned, it just looks like a loopy professor talking to an invisible friend. The conversations, however interesting, could be disregarded or dismissed by the authorities, the militaries, and even many of our audience. But eventually, we knew that we needed to prove that the meetings actually happened. So what our director did was create a mysteries target out of the meetings and to slip to all of the Farsight remote viewers without anyone even faintly thinking that such a thing would or even could ever be done. So yeah, that's right. Under totally blind conditions, told only that there's a target, we were all assigned to remote view a meeting between Courtney Brown and Harvey. Indeed, in this particular meeting, the lady in authority was also there. The meeting took place on the 23rd of September, 2023, in the middle of the night on a secluded beach in Florida. The recording of that meeting has been published on FarsightPrime.com, and it is titled The Death Traps, and I've Been Scolded. You see, in that meeting, the authority lady gave Courtney a bit of a tongue lashing. He probably deserved it. I'm pretty sure he did. As a convenience, we are including the recording of that meeting at the end of the video. So be sure to stay tuned with it until the end. So what you're going to see now is absolutely amazing. You're going to see the results from multiple remote viewers describing exactly what was going on in that meeting. Please understand the significance of this. Here we have 4 remote viewers describing exactly the same thing. A meeting on a remote beach in the middle of the night between 2 guys and a lady talking about important things of historic significance. 4 reports that are totally corroborating and all conducted under totally blind conditions and without any communication between the remote viewers during the data collection phase. Do you realize how impossible that would be if these viewers were just making stuff up? They also describe other things at the target, the environment, the security people, the ships, everything. The viewers also picked up lots of other things that is really interesting, but which are not at all obvious from the recordings alone. Now, finally, you have proof that those meetings actually happened. So this project is historic. The meetings have been historic, and now you get to know everything that happened. No secrets. Farsight is committed to the end of secrecy. Secrecy that is designed to keep you in chains. So we are committed to telling you everything, not only about the world and the galaxy, but also about ourselves. We don't want there to be any secrets between our audience and us. We want you to believe that what we are telling you is the truth. So that demands that we totally be honest with you. So here you have it, real interactions between our director Courtney Brown and the good ETs, most notably Harvey and the Authority Lady. On a personal note, I am looking forward to meeting the Authority Lady one day, so just stay tuned on that one. But before we do this, do you want to see a UFO that we've recorded with our own cameras here at Farsight? Here's a great one. Take a look.
This is a tumbling UFO. It was shot at 120 frames per second, but it's slowed down to 1/10 of that. And we're zooming in to 750% of its original size.
Remember that we are trying to encourage other people to make their own UFO videos by following our methods. We have figured out how to evade the ET stealth tech by shooting at 120 frames per second and in infrared. You can see the details of our methods on our website, farsight.org, and you can see us analyzing our footage in various projects on farsightprime.com. Also, you can see a variety of UFO clips for free on our director's Instagram page, Courtney Brown Farsight. That is Instagram and then Courtney Brown Farsight. Instagram is really convenient to watch on your phone. We hope you get interested in shooting your own videos of the ET spacecrafts. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to do. They're always up there in large numbers, all types of shapes, sizes, configurations, so it's not a problem finding them, and it's pretty fun. Also, do you want to know what our next major Earth Mysteries project is all about? It will be released in January 2024 real soon. So get ready for this. The mystery of Lao Tzu. That's right. You see, Lao Tzu was the founder of Taoism. He had a deep, deep understanding of his own composite nature, and he knew that his physical body was not the real him. He knew that he was immortal, which is something that most people don't fully understand. Well, as it turned out, he escaped the death traps when he died, and we wanted to know how he did it. So we took a look at Lao Tzu, especially focusing on the time of his death. He really is an amazing person. You will want to see all of it. And you can do that on farsightprime.com, mid-January 2024. Also, before we dive into this meeting with Harvey, let me remind you to remember to subscribe or resubscribe in case for whatever reason you unsubscribe to our free newsletter, which you can do on our website, farsight.org. That is how we notify people of all of our releases and events, including our live stream events. We never send out spam. We never sell our list of subscribers to anyone else for any reason at all. So it's really worthwhile to keep connected with that free Farsight newsletter. Also check to make sure that our email program is not putting your newsletter into junk, spam, or promotion folders, as a lot of programs are quite aggressive at doing so. It's just worthwhile to check just to make sure you're getting our newsletters so you can keep connected with what we're doing. We only send out notifications when we publish something, and we never sell our list of subscribers to anyone for any reason at all. So now the meeting with Harvey. For this project, we have 4 of the most highly trained remote viewers anywhere dive deep into this. Intisam, Aziz Brown, Shantae, and myself. The target was created by our director, Dr. Courtney Brown, and all of the viewers did all of their work completely blind to the target. The final stage is to finish their sessions while being recorded live on video, and all of our viewers always do that completely alone. No one is in the room when they're doing their recording, and none of the remote viewers communicated with one another during the data collection phase of this project. This is not science fiction. This is as real as it gets. starting with a session by Intisam and then myself, Aziz Brown, and finally Shantae. Here's what's going on that secluded beach in the middle of the night when our director, Courtney Brown, has direct meetings with the good ETs. Meetings that have helped us stitch together all of the complexities of the current situation on Earth. Hang on to your seats. This is big. After you see all the sessions, I will return to pull things together. Now remember this, subject A is Harvey. Subject B is Courtney Brown. Subject C is the authority lady. And the general surrounding entourage, which includes all the security people, are subjects E.